It's good. Oh, we're on.
I like the song.
We wanted to start off episode 3 a little bit different. This is a wonderful song by Van Morrison called Days Like This.
Shout out to Gabby for the aux.
Yeah. We just figured out that we can connect music, so
Now we could bother you with our tunes.
yeah, it's almost done. I'm going to end it soon, but we'll jam for a little bit.
Oh, I know this song.
Yes.
Yeah.
Stop being embarrassing when we don't get copyrighted. Yeah, so welcome back to Let's Talk About It. We have so much to talk about today.
Yay.
No guests, just me and Julia.
Yeah. Sorry about it.
Sorry, but not sorry. We're still going to have so much fun.
Yeah.
Thank you for tuning in if you're watching. Thank you for watching if you're watching it after and
Streaming
it's not live. Yeah. And yeah, we are sponsored by LifeVac. Julia has a lot of exciting updates on LifeVac's end. If you're new here, Julia works with LifeVac.
Yes.
She's a part of the company, a part of the family, and she's always just updating us and giving us the good news. It's all good news.
Yeah. As per our last week, I know we were close to hitting our 3,000th life saved, and Art came in to give us a live time update on our number. I forget what it was, honestly, at the time, but I think it was we were, I think, like 15 away. We hit our 3,000th life, so
Woo! Cue the cheers. Bye-bye.
Yeah, that's okay. So, yeah, we had our 3,000th life saved. It was a 3-year-old girl, actually, and we're going to have her family come to our celebration. So,
I'm so excited. Yeah, we're having a massive party. And
next week on Thursday.
How incredible.
Yeah.
3,000 lives.
Saved.
Yep. He's still with us, still with their families, still having a future ahead of them.
Yeah.
It's just so beautiful to talk about.
So we're going to get to meet the father who saved his daughter and his wife and the fam. Yeah, they're going to come out. And they're coming from Florida, actually.
Oh,
so
wow.
I know, yeah. I was talking to them today because I've been helping them get their flight info and hotel. So that'll be super fun.
Yeah, Julia gets to have the fun conversations and gets to plan a lot of really important things, and she's bringing these people to us. And
the 3,000th Life Saved party is actually to honor our honorees, our first responders and people who have helped save lives, you know, those like police officers, firemen, and whatnot. So, yeah, those are the people that we're going to be honoring there. And yeah, I've been chatting with a lot of them. They're all really nice and super cool. So
amazing.
I know. I'm excited to meet them in person because we've been having so many phone calls,
Yeah.
you know, and so many back and forths. And
yeah, it's beautiful that we can have these conversations, and like in this digital age that we're in, we can, you know, connect with people across the world, in Florida and
even
Missouri.
California. We have a California department coming out.
Yeah.
5
Awesome.
people from California. Yeah.
Good. Seeing them in person is going to make all the difference, and just shaking their hands, giving them hugs. It's going to be amazing.
It is going to be amazing. I'm looking
excited.
forward to it. Yeah. Thank you. And then we have the other huge news too, that the American Red Cross supports the use of anti-choking devices. Woo!
Cue the cheers.
I could cheer.
Yeah, wait, the cheers are coming.
Yeah. Thanks. Yeah, that's super huge. Super huge. We've been working massively on this, I think, since right after our last episode. So I think on Tuesday or Wednesday, we've been working to get that news out because I wrote it down so I could say it correctly and properly. The American Red Cross Scientific Advisory Council stated after their June 2023 summer session proceeding, they have written, the guideline is back blows and abdominal thrusts should be used as a standard treatment for airway obstruction in the conscious person. And an option is if standard treatment is not working or not feasible, anti-choking devices may be used for attempted removal of airway obstruction.
Amazing.
So, yeah, and further on their website, it's supported by saying, if standard first aid for management of choking or foreign body airway obstruction is not effective or not feasible, anti-choking devices may be considered for attempted relief of airway obstruction. So that's huge.
Amazing. It's so huge because a lot of people were scared of the device.
Yeah.
Scared to use it. We don't have one currently with us right now, but I'm going to try and get one dropped off.
Yeah.
Hopefully. I'm going to shoot a text to my dad.
Yeah.
He has, again, Man in the Arena is the official LifeVac show, and they go on at like 9:10.
9:10, yeah.
Like around there. It's always a little bit different, but
give or take.
On this channel, you'll be able to see them talking about it more and talking to more people. They're having, you know, very fun guests on today. So
I think about that actually. So if you tune in and you want to listen to more about that, Man in the Arena will be covering it. But
Yeah.
one other thing I wanted to say on that is it's huge because now it supports more cases with people involving individuals in wheelchairs. And I know last week with Tony, we were talking about that. And a lot of people are scared because they're like, oh, it's not in American Red Cross guidelines or protocols. And now it actually is. And
So at least they can feel comfortable now. I mean, I understand why people want to see it in writing and they want to see these organizations
and
supporting
a lot
it.
of people are scared of getting in trouble if
Right, and I don't understand how long it's taking to get these ideas
it's
across.
crazy.
But I am grateful that change is happening and more lives are going to be saved and
I
protected.
know, so that's huge, especially for people in wheelchairs and for people who it can't be like administered. The normal abdominal thrust beforehand can't be administered on. So
Yeah,
that's huge. Yeah.
also scoliosis is another big thing that I've been looking into as well. Like some
really?
people
Yeah.
just they can't be in the position to receive that first go-to
babies, even LifeVac has saved babies only a few days old. Like you can't do abdominal thrust on someone that small.
Yeah, no.
You don't want to break them.
Amazing. Is that all the updates that you have?
I think that's all of our LifeVac updates. Shout out to our sponsor LifeVac again.
And
Love you all.
also shout out Strong Island Television.
Woo.
Bobby, did I say that right? Strong Island TV, Strong Island Radio.
You sure did.
Also,
Okay, cool.
yeah, I said it right. So I'm so grateful that
Yeah.
we have this space. It's beautiful and
It is.
it's so cool. It's just nice to be here.
I know. So official of us.
Right? Okay, cool. So next, we're going to pivot to talking more about recruitment.
The life of Gab.
The life of Gab. Yes. The
I'm
life of
intrigued
Gab.
myself.
Yeah, so I mentioned it before, but again, if you're new, my day job is recruitment and social media management now, kind of a little bit.
Ooh,
but
cool.
yeah, it's so fun. I work for Oculus Group LLC. If you look at our LinkedIn, check out our posts. I work really hard on them. And yeah, you can meet the people inside of the group. We are growing, we are big, but I want to bring the discussion around recruitment because I think there are a lot of misconceptions and recruiters don't have the best of reps, to be honest.
I know. You told me that. And I
Yes.
didn't know about that. But
Yeah.
I guess like in hindsight, I could see like why. Because people just think you're sort of trying to get them on board or something. I don't know. I don't know why don't people like recruiters?
They're for good reason. They don't like them. I say for good reason because it's such a vast industry. There are so many recruitment companies all doing things a little bit differently. And some are super organized and efficient, Oculus Group, and some aren't. And it's not every recruiter's fault for mishaps and miscommunications, but it's super frustrating for the candidates who are on the job market looking for their best next step. It's frustrating when they're talking with recruiters and it's still not working. So I hope that this little segment could clear the air and just educate more around what we do and
Cool.
our goals. Yeah. So first thing, recruitment is vast, like I said, but essentially I am the middleman since I work for an agency. I don't work internally. I work for an agency. So I'm the middleman between the client and the candidate. So people looking for jobs and people hiring, and we are assisting in that placing and finding people that would help companies grow. So the first thing that is helpful when you're working with recruiters is you could understand a company's culture, first thing. When you have that initial conversation with somebody who has that insight, they could, tell you firsthand what they're looking for, how they already act, and I also recommend that anybody looking for a job has these conversations with themselves. Know what you want, know what you need, know what you deserve, and again, you could ask recruiters for help in these conversations. But again, I think most of, at least for me, speaking for myself, my goal is to help both ends and make sure that the company's receiving the right person and the person is receiving the right help. Have you been reached out to by recruiters Because you recently graduated.
Yeah, I get a lot of emails because I've like ZipRecruiter. Is that sort of people who work?
Yeah,
with
so
recruitments?
ZipRecruiter is a massive company that's a little bit different than what I'm doing, but
Okay.
Yeah.
I guess I've never been reached out maybe by one. I don't know. I honestly don't know. But like,
yeah,
I have
it's
a
okay.
question. So like
You
the
definitely have a
company-
lot of messages.
Yes, I get like all these ZipRecruiter and one other. I think Indeed. Like, do you work through Indeed?
So I could post jobs onto Indeed if I wanted to, and we have a guest coming in right now, live. We have, huh?
We have two guests?
We can
Yeah,
have
we
two
have two
guests.
guests. We
More
have-
than welcome. Here.
Yes.
Hey, ladies.
Hello. Welcome.
Hey everyone.
We're talking about recruitment right
We're
now.
talking about a bunch
I
of
was just
stuff.
educating on what I do and why I do it.
Talent acquisition?
Yes.
Talent
Love it.
acquisition.
Yes.
That's so
It is
fun.
Being a search partner.
Blossoming field.
Yeah.
You know, the work that
Throw your
work
headphone
that
on.
you do
That
at
sounds
yeah, you can-
boring.
Yeah. Throw your
All
headphones
right,
on.
here's the big thing. This is the Life Hack guy jumps in to give you
Yep.
Life Hack update.
Yeah, we said.
Yes.
Yep. Arthur
so
Lee, founder of LifeHack. Rick
Life
Thatcher,
Hack
my
man.
father, and an amazing
some
Yeah,
title.
soul.
I always identify myself as a life hack guy.
Closer.
The
Oh,
life
stop.
hack guy. That's this guy.
Yeah. Here, bring it closer, Dad.
So remember, we weren't at 3,000 lives.
No,
were you last?
we were
Sunday?
saying that. No, I think we
No.
had
We're closing
15-ish
in.
left. Yeah.
It was like 970 something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How ridiculous it is. We hit 3,000.
Yeah, do that.
We hit 3,000 saves, right? Last week. Was it Thursday? I think. Guess what we're at now?
I'm going to
Since
guess.
Thursday.
Here's our update.
Okay, I'm going to guess 3,014 because that's my lucky
22.
number.
3,022. We had 7
Wow.
lives saved today.
Cheers.
Yeah, we're skyrocketing. I think Donna actually said before 9 a.m. she had 3.
Yeah.
3 life saves
Yeah.
before
Well,
9
that's
a.m.
cool,
today.
'cause sometimes we
Yeah.
get them in from the UK or Australia.
We're
It's so
international.
amazing how
global.
global
Yeah.
29 different countries. 29. And
Isn't
I
that
only know
unbelievable?
that because Donna
tells us.
Isley
Yes.
tells us.
That's the only reason we know anything.
Sometimes she quizzes
True.
us.
Oh yeah,
It's okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
With the numbers.
I wanted to jump in and do my annual weekly.
How are you
Our
doing? How are you
traditional-
doing? How was your week?
That was crazy. It was
Good.
absolutely crazy. I was in Pittsburgh again.
Colson's crew, chili
Starting to
cook-off.
learn Pittsburgh. You know, it was amazingly sad, and I think and this kind of what I see the depth of combining the show, right? Your guys' show to try and connect things, right? So I'm at Colson's cook-off. Colson was a little boy choked to death, and his family persevered so that others wouldn't feel it. Robert shows up, who lost Owie.
Robert
And
Mitchell.
the Maddoxes showed up who lost Isaiah. 3 families that have lost their
wow.
children and are in there swinging to try and make a difference. And, you know, it's funny the way God will come in and give you, you know, it's so typical. He says, look how great you're doing. He reminds me of my father. Look how great you're doing. All right, get back to work.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm all pumped up. 3,000 saves. Red Cross is recommending it. And first time ever people with disabilities have a chance. Oh, man, there's 3 families here lost their kid. And a child choked to death at school in Naples.
Yeah.
Right? So it's life, right? Succeed, enjoy for a second, but keep going.
Keep going because more milestones are going to be hit, like your amazing news with the Red Cross.
We were just talking about that before you guys
We were
walked
just
in.
talking
Oh,
about
yeah.
that.
Yeah,
if
because
you
we
wanna-
had Tony on last week, so we were saying how it's cool
Right.
that this just happened.
You
Yeah.
know what is like? I just got to chill. So not only is it the first update to recommendations for choking protocol, it's the first time in the history of mankind that people with disabilities, people with medical conditions, open heart surgery, bedridden, all these people, obese, pregnant, have a legitimate chance in writing, in protocol, in suggested guidelines from the Red Cross, ever. All from a bunch of people that care.
Yeah.
Right? We're not Pfizer, we're not Johnson Johnson.
No,
we didn't
sir.
have any huge backing money. We all did it just by keep going. And that's the feeling I got when I was with the 3 families who lost their kids, you know. My joy was monitored by the fact that I'm not done yet. None of us are done
way.
yet.
No.
No way.
But I think when I think of your guys' show, I think of the connecting the dots. You know, the next generation. We got to pass battalion to you. You know, I was come back to Pittsburgh. I'm like, geez, there's 40 days in a row I've worked. and getting a little old for that.
Well, I'm happy to take the
keeps you
baton
young.
and
Yes,
keep it
I
going
think you
because
will do
how?
a great
Why
job.
wouldn't we want to talk about this?
Yeah.
You know,
Oh,
That's
yeah,
the point
but
of the
that's
show.
Let's
point.
talk about
Yeah.
it.
we're just talking
Let's
about
talk
it.
about
Let's talk about it.
It's inspiring.
But if you think about it, in the history of mankind,
Yeah.
Yeah.
right? This is not just, hey, that's pretty good, interesting. First time ever
Yeah.
No,
these
applause.
people
Yeah.
have a legitimate chance.
And it was before these two young ladies were born that the last time the Red Cross.
way
did it.
47 years.
Well,
Yeah.
well behind. Crazy.
And there's no knock on it. It's the fact that, there are two ways to generate force from your body. You squish it or you smash it. There's really, and the debate would go back and forth and back and forth, and Australia doesn't do it, and then American Heart doesn't work. And, that's why they only review it every 5 years, because they were like, what's the point?
Yeah.
And then a bunch of people from a garage in Massapequa say, nah, I think we're going to change these.
And
things."
now, and now, so many more people are going to feel comfortable because I know that was a big thing. Fear.
Yes.
People want
Yeah.
to see organizations like the Red Cross supporting it. So this is huge.
Wow, good.
Huge.
It's
Huge.
huge.
It's going to be huge. It's going to be the
Huge.
best
Yeah, not much going on
device
in the-
ever.
Yeah, we were in our swim lane. Not much going on in the rest of the world, right? Not like there's a major election going on. but
We were 13,
We
right?
concentrate.
We were 13 when Heimlich did this,
Dad, you can move this, by the way.
right?
You can move it up.
yeah,
Do you
it's okay.
remember it? Do you remember, like, when
I remember the buzz
Right.
around this maneuver,
Right.
but it's not foolproof by any stretch.
No, of course
right?
not.
You found out in the hospital visiting your friend.
Yeah, the hard
Well, didn't
way.
they try this, that, the other? Well, yeah, it just doesn't always work.
And I
And when
was
you
like,
hear the
"What?"
statistics between 30 and 50% of the time failing, that was unacceptable to you.
Yeah, my daughter's
just-
life was at
Right,
stake.
exactly.
The second I heard it was in a hospital, I said, wait a second, we got a problem.
Back up.
Because I took the course when she was born, right? I'm a good daddy. And
Super dad.
no one told me at the end, oh, by the way, it doesn't always work. Now, because I would have said, well, I would have started then. I thought it was good. They don't
Right.
say, oh, you do it. It says until they breathe. And you're like, oh, all right,
Yeah.
I'm good. Because I'd smash her and swing her upside down, whatever I had to do.
Yeah, and you do that now anyway.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
most of
even
the time
when
I
she's
enjoy
doing
it
good.
tremendously.
Shout out to
The
Jackie.
upside down thing. I
Monkey
have
biz.
I have a picture of my garage of her standing on my head, not my shoulders, on my head. That was our big party trick in the pool. And I used to walk down, like if we were at Disney or something, the pool was crowded. I would walk down the pool with her on my head. She's like, Dad, I don't want it. Everyone's going to look at me. On my
They
head.
are now.
Yeah. But now she's on TV with me. I get a lot of comments on that too at these
course.
things because it's such a cool commercial. It reminds me of
Yeah.
you guys, She's
Yeah.
there little and then she's big, but it also is the design is to show the passage of time, right? We've been doing this 11 years. The Red Cross does not make a recommendation easily. First
Yeah.
time 47 years.
Yeah.
And I love in the writing it said we had a raucous discussion. They definitely were looking at it and talking about it,
And-
which I'm glad. I'm
And
proud.
citing studies and
Yeah.
peer-reviewed
Well,
medical
you
articles
can tell they really looked at it.
but authored by Lee.
Yeah, many different authors in there, but the cool thing was unanimously decided.
Yes.
Like that
Everyone.
made me
Yeah.
really proud that committee.
No dissent.
Well, it's like 12 Angry Men, right? They go back, and I'm sure there was a lot of heated discussion and, thoughts and what's good, what's not as kids, blah, blah, blah. But they did what we're supposed to do. They battled through it. They talked about it. They looked at the medical research, and they made a good decision, bone-chillingly, by adding that one word.
Feasible?
Yeah.
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 If it's not feasible.
Yeah.
That was that'll stick with me. I can't remember the word all the time, but yes, that is the word that did it.
Yeah.
All right, take your show
All right.
back.
Thank you.
Thanks
All
for
right. Well, thank you for
That was much
stopping in.
appreciated.
Well,
Thanks.
Yeah.
let's talk about it. Is that what we
Let's
were
talk-
talking?
Let's
we
talk
Yeah,
were
we're
about
just
it.
talking about it. We
Yeah,
just
let's
talked
talk
about
about
something
All right.
so
Pe-
important.
Peace
And
and love.
if you guys have a life hack with you,
Peace.
Yeah.
can you just throw it in here so we can show everyone if
Absolutely.
it's their first time watching?
Thanks for
Cool.
having us.
Yeah, thank
Thanks
you for
for coming
coming
in.
That was great because we didn't have a guest today, and then we
Cheers.
did.
I know.
Wow, everything works out how it's supposed to, huh?
Yay.
So I guess the life hack is going to be coming in soon, I think.
Yeah.
Unless you forgot.
In case, yeah.
Yeah, maybe he
If
forgot.
not, maybe we could insert it at the end or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
Show a photo.
Maybe not. Yeah. Maybe.
Yeah, we'll figure
So,
it out.
so I guess back to recruitment. I guess I'll go over it super quick because we have a fun spooky section of our show because Halloween
Take
is
your
this
time.
week. So we
Yeah.
wanted to make a little bit of a spooky thing. But anyways, so understanding company culture.
Mm-hmm.
This is important to have a good grasp on to decide if this
Oh, my
is the
one
right.
question was, so you
Yes.
meet with the companies beforehand and you have a
Yes.
good grasp on like their
Yes.
culture.
Yes, we get
Okay.
we meet with our client. We understand what they're looking for, the
Mm-hmm.
job parameters. We understand everything about everything that they need.
So you deep dive.
We
into
deep
them.
dive.
Okay.
Deep dive. We go to the market of people, talk to them, relay the message, see if things align. If they do, wonderful. We make the introduction, and here it is.
Oh, yay.
Blaze push pull, lady.
Yes,
Push pull.
here's the life hack. It just came.
What we've been chatting about.
Yeah, we'll do a demonstration after. But that just knocked me off my roll. What was I saying?
You connect the two if they're a good fit.
Oh,
Do
yeah,
you
so
do
we
the
connect the two.
interviews or do the company?
So that varies.
Okay.
I do know some recruiters will do the initial interview, but
Okay.
me personally, I'm the one just setting it up, passing them off, and then sticking by for the ride because I obviously want to hear how it's going. So, yeah, that's
awesome.
That's
Yeah.
kind of the thing around it. But also, it's great to connect with recruiters to build relationships professionally. Like, me personally, in Oculus Group, I have I think now over 140 partners
Wow.
in my network. So, say you don't think the job's right for you, no biggie. They probably could connect you with somebody that they know, or like, what's the harm in talking about yourself for 20 to 30 minutes,
Yeah.
It's always good to practice that.
Yeah.
And, I love advising people in that way too. But yeah, recruiters can help companies with strategic planning and understanding what they need, because we have that view on the market and we see what works and what doesn't. We've seen what works and what has failed. So there's that. Recruiters can help you negotiate and just align with what you need. Again, it's hard to be honest with yourself, but I think I find myself like kind of pulling information out of people on the daily and helping them see their future just a little bit more clear. I'm not saying this is for everyone. I've talked to a lot of people who have a very strong mind on where they're headed and where they're going, and that's great. But I've also seen the other side, and it's okay if you're there. But just know, at the end of this, recruiters, most of them, at least me and Oculus Group, we are here to help both ends of the job market. And
Really cool.
yeah, some point in the future, Tyler Martis, founder. Tim Heslop is also the other founder. Shout out Tim. We're going to have Tyler on to dive even further into
Yeah,
recruitment because
I'm
we could talk
excited.
about it for a while.
Yeah, but
and
you wanna
this
know
is just a
something?
little bit of information.
I
yeah.
was actually on FaceTime with my best friend like 4 or 5 days ago, and we were catching up. She's still in school getting her master's upstate, and she was getting ready for an interview. She was like, I don't really know if I want the job. She was like, you know what? And we were just talking. She was like, you know what? She was like, I don't want this job. I want the job that the interview person has. She was like, I love that. And I was like,
Yeah.
wait, my friend Gab does that.
Oh my God, wait, tell her to call me. Tell her to call
I said,
me.
and I was like, Oculus Group. She works for Oculus Group.
Wait, actually give her
I
my
said,
phone
I
number.
was like, you should talk to her. And I figured I would bring it up to you today because I was like, that's so funny. We're talking about this. And my friend actually said, she was like, I don't want to do this. I want to be the person interviewing. And I was like,
Yeah.
that's so weird. Because my friend, we talk about that.
Yeah,
how she does
literally
that.
give her
Yeah.
my number. And
I
if
will.
anybody watching this is curious and wants to learn how they could do it,
Yeah.
a lot of people can do it. It's not simple. It's not for everyone, but it could be taught. And I love to teach and help.
Yeah,
and,
it's a fun
tell her
path. I will.
it's fun. It's
I
fun.
definitely will. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah.
Cool. Well, thank you, Gab. That was a
Networking.
fun segment.
Yeah, connect with me on LinkedIn. One last shout out. Gabriella Thatcher on LinkedIn. I post frequently. So,
Yeah.
okay. So next we are going to get into...
We actually have the quote.
Oh.
I have a quote if you want.
Okay. Yeah, I think the quote.
We'll do a quick quote drop and then get into our spooky series because since it's Halloween, we decided to do a little spooky story.
Yeah.
So the quote, I don't know if you saw it yet, so this will be good because we'll have some live time action.
Yeah. I didn't hear the quote yet. I didn't see it.
Okay. Never give up on a dream just because of the time it will take to accomplish it. The time will pass anyway.
Love it.
Love it. Love it. That's by Earl Nightingale. I think that's an author, if I'm correct.
Yeah.
No.
I'm not completely sure, but he's very wise for saying that.
Thanks,
I have
Earl.
to say, like, that is, it's
Smart
so
man.
easy to get stuck in the in the fear of the steps it's going to take to get there. But all you have to do is take
Yeah.
that first initial step, and then if you
Yeah.
believe in manifestation as strongly as I do,
Yeah,
then you
I
then
do,
you-
and I do.
Yeah.
I really do.
Yeah.
And I was saying, like, I think it also has to do with, like, the fear of commitment, because people always blame time, and there's never a right time to do something.
Right.
But there's never a right time to. You just have to do it, you know? And people
Yeah.
are so scared of sticking to something. But,
Like, who set the standard? Who decided like
Yeah.
what is the right time? Like, you're the one who defines that for yourself, right?
And people are like, it's going to take forever, but the time's going to pass anyways. I like how it says that, because, you know, like, you could either do something with the time that you have or not do something with the time you have. So.
Yeah, and for a long time,
Yeah.
I was doing nothing with the time that I had, to be honest, and to be frank. I had a little
Yeah.
stint of time
Yeah.
where I was super lazy and
Yeah,
super confused, and
you didn't
just-
know your passion either.
I didn't know my
Yeah.
passion, but the thing is, I wasn't doing anything to figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's like the day that I decided I'm over this, I'm gonna just take that first step. I'm gonna do what I'm uncomfortable to do.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna put the time in. I'm gonna learn something. I don't care if I'm. You don't have to be the best at it when you start, but like you said in that quote, the time's passing anyways. But yeah,
Yeah.
can I repeat it?
Yeah.
It says never give up on a dream just because of the time it will take to accomplish it. The time will pass anyway. Yeah, I love it.
And I think, you know, people also often miss opportunities. They regret more missed opportunities than they do failures, you know?
Yeah,
Like, who cares if you fail?
yeah,
I think when you
Fail
get
fast
older
and
and then
fail
you look
often.
back, yeah. I like that.
yeah. That's
we,
like
we're so insightful with our quotes.
yeah. Once one quote comes, they
I know,
just don't.
we start like there's never just one.
Yeah.
By the end, there's always more.
Yeah, but yeah, chase fear or chase failing, chase
Yeah.
failure, and
I like that.
awesome.
Okay, now our spooky series.
Spooky series.
So we decided look, I have 3 pages of notes.
Amazing. No, this is good. This is good.
So we
This is gonna
decided
be our longest show yet.
Woo! I love true crime, and I love spooky things. Also, not even true crime, just, you know, like little horror stuff. And I decided to do how some of my favorite podcasters do, where they get into a story, you know, tell a little background information, explain it to their fellow I was gonna say podcasty, but we're not really. Yeah,
We're
host.
co-host.
That's the word. You're not my podcasty. You're my.
Well, we can call it podcasty.
Yeah.
We set the rules
But I
here.
guess because you know what? Screw it. Yeah. So, I'm going to explain to Gab a story of the Flannan Isle Lighthouse. And it's 3 lighthouse keepers who died a super mysterious death in 1900.
Is this a true story?
This is a true story.
Okay.
How they died, we don't. So we'll get into it. It's a true story, but it's still a mystery, if that makes sense.
Oh, wow.
It all makes sense. Okay. So some background information.
Okay.
The Flannan Isle Lighthouse was built in 1899 on a small remote group of islands known as the Flannan Isles, located on Outer Hebrides of the west coast of Scotland. By the way, if I pronounce things wrong, it's because I'm not from Scotland, so I don't know all the proper language. But yeah, so these islands were often referred to as the Seven Hunters, the island that the lighthouse was on, and the surrounding ones. And they were known for their rugged landscape, treacherous waters, and basically total isolation.
Okay, so spooky
So
place.
it's already creepy.
It's already
It's
spooky.
getting weird.
I'm already
it's getting
scared.
super weird. So the building itself stood alone on the main island. So it was just the building on the island, nothing else. Well, the lighthouse building. And another word that I don't know how to pronounce, Eileen Moore. That's the island name, the one I was on. And it was powered by oil lamps, which require daily maintenance to keep the light functioning consistently.
Okay, so someone's
So
got to go and manually
someone's gotta
fix
check
this
those
stuff.
oil lamps
Okay.
every day.
Okay.
Someone's got to go. So the purpose of the lighthouse was to provide safer passage for ships navigating the area, since the surrounding waters were infamous for shipwrecks and dangerous weather. Even spookier, you know, it's getting
Yeah.
weirder. But yeah, the lighthouse was
nothing
sort
seems
of like,
safe here. Nothing
no,
seems safe.
Nothing. But it was a beacon, you know, it was a lighthouse. That's the purpose, because it was in the middle of nowhere and ships were kind of steering off balance. So yeah. So now lighthouse keepers and duties. So 3 lighthouse keepers at a time were stationed at Flannan Isle on a rotating basis. So, you know, one person would go on, then leave the next week, then someone else would go on, so whatnot. But there was always 3 at a time.
Okay.
Okay. So some of their jobs included keeping the lamp that I was talking about before fueled, cleaned, and operational at all times, especially during night hours, because that's when it's most important. Ships need to see.
Yeah.
They were in charge of recording weather conditions, so they logged weather changes and events, which were vital to local maritime records. And I guess keep this in mind as we go, the logs, because you'll see what I'm talking about. They were also responsible for the general upkeep, so they were responsible for routine repairs, upkeeping the lighthouse, its surrounding grounds, maintenance, just any equipment that they needed for rescue operations in case of a ship was in danger. They were in charge of having all that and getting that ship out of danger safely.
Yeah.
So also communication, even though they were isolated, the keepers would periodically communicate with the mainland, relaying weather observation or updates when possible. Okay. So obviously living on this island came with a bunch of challenges. There wasn't access to fresh food or medical care. As you can imagine, it also can be a lot living all on your lonesome with only 2 other people.
Yeah.
This lighthouse particularly, I know I said it before, but it weathered like super treacherous storms and conditions, and the keepers could be stuck there for weeks at a time.
Wow.
So yeah.
Did they have a lot of snags?
I
don't know.
I mean, they had to ration.
Yeah.
Based on what I was reading, I read a few articles, they had to ration. It wasn't uncommon for stress and tension to build up amongst the keepers. Any lighthouse keeper, I think you kind of, during prolonged isolation, could freak yourself out.
Yeah.
This is what makes a disappearance so mysterious, because many believe, maybe the prolonged isolation could have made one or more of the lighthouse keepers sort of go crazy, I guess you could say. So basically, there were 3 keepers at the time of the disappearance. They were James Ducat, Thomas Marshall, and Donald MacArthur.
And they all disappeared?
They all are not found to this day. No bodies found. 3.
What?
Yep. So I'm like, yes. The first sign of distress was on December 18th, 1900. So they were in the lighthouse, we know, I think, since early December. And something people realized was first majorly wrong on December 18th when the steamer, the Arctur, passed by the Flannan Isles en route to Leith and noticed that the lighthouse was dark. This was super weird because, usually the lighthouse has light. That's the whole point of the lighthouse.
Right.
For navigating people through, I guess, hazardous storms and whatnot. And due to rough seas, no immediate investigation was possible as to why there was no light on in the lighthouse. But the incident was reported. Concern was kind of caught on in the mainland. People were getting worried. What the heck's happening? So finally, that was on December 18th. Finally, the storm and the seas get better. On December 26th now of 1900, a relief vessel was finally dispatched to the island carrying a relief keeper, Joseph Moore, who would replace one or more of the keepers on, and a crew as well to kind of check out everything going on. So upon arrival, Moore and the crew noticed that the flagpole was bare, meaning that there was no flag, I think, which in lighthouse terms kind of meant something was off. I don't know exactly, but also no one was there to greet the vessel, which was super uncommon because
I think back they would put the flag up every single day, right? And then take it down, and it wasn't there. Oh my goodness.
And it was customary when ships arrived for a lighthouse keeper to go out and kind of greet the ships, and this didn't happen at the time, so that was a little sus.
Yeah.
So Joseph Moore was the first to enter the lighthouse. He described an ominous feeling as he made his way through the empty building, and he got the sense that something was super wrong. Like the second he stepped in, he reported he knew something was off. So he found some super unsettling details. The door was unlocked, and inside the kitchen area looked as if it had been recently used. One of the reports I found said their dinner was basically put out and everything, I don't know what food they were eating, but like their steak and their mashed potatoes was out, and then it just was never eaten.
What?
So, yeah, just really eerie.
That's so weird. And it was fresh?
Not fresh, no, but dinner was set.
So dinner was served, and it was
dinner
not
was served,
eaten.
but it was not eaten. A chair was overturned at the dinner table, suggesting maybe someone left in a hurry or something like that.
Yeah.
The clock had stopped. This part gives me the spooks because it had been unwound for some time, which is really unusual. And why would someone, I guess, unwind or not be winding
stop
up
the
a clock?
It seems like they would do that on purpose.
Especially
maybe
because,
to
because a keeper is supposed to be meticulous. That's the whole point. The logbook contained only 2 entries. The logbook contained only entries up to December 15th, after which it had been abandoned. So you know how I said that they keep meticulous logs?
Yeah.
December 15th was the last log. And a sign of distress was found on December 18th. So we don't know what really happened in between that time. But also, one other thing to mention before I get about the logs, only 2 sets of oilskins, which are heavy rain gear, were missing from the entryway, suggesting that 2 keepers may have left the lighthouse together. And although 3 were missing, people were thinking since the 3rd set was still hanging, maybe like the 3rd keeper sort of went out in a hurry or kind of was unexpected, and he was like, "Oh my gosh, I need to go out right now." You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, because you know he might have left in
Like
such
he didn't
a
have
rush
time
where
to
he
grab
didn't
his
have time
jacket.
to grab his jacket. Yeah.
Okay.
So now into the
This is a really
logs.
good story.
Wow, thanks.
Yeah, I'm enjoying this.
So I love spooky lighthouse stories. They're my favorite. Thomas Marshall was the main one, really like logging everything down. And his entries leading up to the disappearances were super weird. So the first one, December 12th, Marshall wrote about a severe storm that was impacting the lighthouse. Despite the structure's stability, he noted that the storm was unlike any he had ever witnessed, which was unusual as the Flannan Islands often experienced rough weather. And people in that area didn't know a like crazy different storm at the time period. You know, like there wasn't even a storm actually really recorded. There's no record of a crazy storm even happening, which is also super weird. So, you know, people think that that's sort of a red flag.
Yeah.
Marshall also recorded that James Ducat, the most senior keeper, had become very quiet, and that Donald MacArthur, known for his toughness, was crying. MacArthur's distress was especially unsettling, given his reputation as a sturdy, no-nonsense man. So it was definitely weird that he started writing this. Now, second out of the 3rd entries was on December 13th. He continued describing the storm and noted increasing feelings of fear among the men. According to his log, the storm continued to rage, but interestingly, there were no records of stormy conditions in the area that day. So it was really weird, you know?
So it's confirmed that it was a nice day.
Yeah, or I guess not
Or not-
confirmed, but like
Okay.
there was no records of it being bad,
Right.
which is weird. So this led some to believe that the keepers were starting to experience some sort of psychological or supernatural disturbance. Marshall also wrote that the men had been praying, but they weren't even known to be religious. So this kind of implies that something was off, you know,
Yeah.
if they're praying and they're not religious men, I guess. So the final entry just said, so this is where it gets weird, December 15th, which is the last entry that they had
There's
noticed.
no December 14th.
December 15th.
Oh, my birthday's on December 14th, so I was waiting. I was like, oh,
No.
my birthday. I was gonna shout
Wow,
out my
our birthdays
birthday.
are a month apart in a day. I'm January 15th.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. But December 15th, so not your birthday. I guess that kind of could be good luck.
Yeah,
maybe.
good luck. Yeah, honestly, good luck for me. Good luck.
The final entry just said, and the only thing he wrote on December 15th was, storm ended, sea calm, God is over all. That's weird. Right?
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Super brief and
That's
cryptic.
all he wrote.
All he wrote.
Storm.
Storm ended, sea calm, God is over all. Weird. Super
Sounds
weird.
weird to me.
I know. So it's super brief and cryptic. And so either the men believed like the storm passed, or like maybe they were like surrendering to something like greater that they thought. Yeah. So,
And now they're all gone.
and now when they get there, so when that search party with who got there, with Joseph Moore got there, they looked all over, no signs of them to be found. Nothing. They have searched extensively after that. The waters, the nearby area, their bodies, all 3 of them were never found. So we'll talk about possible theories, and then yeah, that'll be it. This
Wait,
is the most. Yeah,
I want to say, I don't know. I feel like maybe they got on a ship and went away. Maybe they maybe there was somebody that was like, "Hey, come with me." Like, I don't know what they would have said, but maybe they just went
I'm
on.
into like the weird stuff. So
Yeah, what's your theory?
my theory is number 2. So
Okay.
I'll read. There's 4. So
Okay.
number 1 is rogue wave theory. This is the most widely accepted theory. It's the most realistic one, but who likes to be realistic, you know?
Yeah.
People think the 2 men went outside to secure equipment during rough weather. A massive rogue wave hit, sweeping them into the sea. The 3rd keeper probably, which is why he might have left his coat, ran out right away and was like, oh my goodness.
Tried to help.
me
Got
help
sucked
them.
in the water too.
Yep, he suffered the same fate.
Okay.
And that's why one of the oil skins was probably missing. But yeah, could be. But due to their weird journals, I'd like to believe number 2. I'd like to believe psychological breakdown, maybe.
Yeah.
The Flannan Isles were incredibly remote and lonely. So some suggest that the loneliness and harsh weather could have driven one or more of the keepers into a mental breakdown. Like, hence the really weird journal entry. You know, why would they write that?
Or maybe they found magic mushrooms and they,
Yeah,
and they were
yeah.
freaking out.
Could be that too, honestly. Maybe. Honestly, that's a good one. I didn't even think of that.
I mean, that could go into the psychological
Yeah.
breakdown.
I
Because,
like that,
You know,
yeah.
if your body just doesn't react the right way,
Heck
then
yeah.
you can go crazy.
I
Right?
know. And yeah, so people thought, yeah. And I think it's weird because for him to have written in the journal, it's over. And then for them still to have been missing after the storm was over.
Yeah.
You know, maybe it was just a super, super weird coincidence. But I honestly, I think something's up. The third one, it's Halloween time, so it's supernatural or paranormal explanations. Some people think given the mysterious log entries and the unsettling atmosphere that Joseph Moore described, they think like supernatural forces could have played a role. You know, maybe like with reference to praying, this fueled legends of weird spirits or supernatural forces that led them to their deaths. That freaks me out a little too much, so I don't want to think about that. But yeah. And then the last one is foul play or mutiny. Some think that maybe their tension escalated a lot, and one of them was like, screw these guys, and it resulted in violence. But there was no sign of struggle, and these guys were highly professional and experienced, making that unlikely. Also, like, I feel like if that was the case, their bodies wouldn't be completely missing. You know, like,
Yeah.
if someone was just to lash out, I feel like, you know,
Yeah.
their
I
bodies
guess
wouldn't be missing. So
that's crazy. I
we'll
think
never know.
I like your theory that you like about the psychological breakdown. I also think maybe they hopped on a ship and started a new life somewhere else because
And
they were just
like, "Screw
miserable
this."
on this
Yeah.
deserted island.
Yeah.
But who knows?
Yeah.
And we're never going to know.
We're never going to know. So basically, I have the ending. The Flannan Isle Lighthouse was eventually taken down in the 1970s, so no one could work there anymore. But since then, the island has remained uninhabited, leaving only the stone lighthouse as a reminder of the strange events of 1900.
Whoa.
Weird.
This was amazing. Thank you for thinking of this. This is all Julia's idea, and I loved every second of it. I think story
you.
time is always accepted.
Right?
We're
I
never
like
too
it.
old for story time.
No, never. I mean,
Never.
I listen to this stuff.
Yeah.
Always. I love podcasts and stuff on that.
So we could absolutely make this a thing again if that's what
Yeah, if
people
you
want to
guys
see.
like it, comment because I will definitely do more of these.
Yeah,
It's fun for me.
Absolutely, yeah. Let us know what you want to see.
Yeah.
We're coming up on our time. I want to
Yeah.
say, do you want to say anything? Do you want to say anything before we go?
I guess thanks for listening as always.
Yes.
You know, I hope you enjoyed my story. Gab, thanks for the Oculus group breakdown. I appreciated that a lot. It's really cool.
Yeah, full Oculus group breakdown will happen soon.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, the recruitment, so much fun to talk about. Happy to answer any other questions. If anyone's like curious or wants to even call in, we're going to have a call-in number coming up. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe by next week we'll get that set up.
Yep, absolutely.
And
then,
yeah, cheers to 3,000 lives. Cheers to the American Red Cross supporting us. And yeah,
And yeah, we're gonna head out to this song.
we'll end with what we started.
Yeah, we're gonna end with what we started with. Pick up where the song left off. Last like maybe 7 seconds, Bobby. Is that okay?
Cool. Well, thanks for listening, guys, as
Yeah,
always.
thank you.
See you next week.
And we'll see you.
Well, you don't need to worry.
I like it.
Right? So good.
When no
Yeah.
one's in a hurry.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Cheers.
When you don't
Share with your
get
friends.
betrayed.
Yeah. Like, comment, subscribe.
Yeah. We love to have you and we love to talk to you and let's talk about it.
Yes, we'll talk about it.